Um,
Right, you're not allowed to laugh at me. Come on.
Show you
beware of the
from.
injured golfer.
We would never do
Episode
that.
23. I don't need to ask which episode it is. 20 something is 23. And we're going to do some hot takes this week. And yeah, as always, we'll start about the weekend's golf. Maybe we'll start with the weekend golf for me. Didn't go to
Hmm.
plan. Myself and Kempo were supposed to be playing the Winter Edinburgh Winter League final together.
The big one.
It's a big one. It's basically the fifth major. Um, so we're supposed to play that, and I've had a bit of a hand injury the past couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure I did it hitting a shot, hit a root, and I remember it coming up, hurt my hand, and then thought nothing of it. And it's been a few days where it's not been great. Other days I can play like 9 holes and it's fine. So when I played 9 holes Saturday night was grand. Then Sunday morning, woke up in the middle of the night, was not good. And
He also
since
played paddle this weekend as well.
yeah,
So
that was with my right hand, Campbell.
Is that it?
And yeah,
Anything else with your right hand?
nope,
Yeah, thank God it was a
I think
left
it
hand.
left, yeah. Whew, thank goodness, means I can still play paddle. Um, so yeah, left hand is out of commission for our audio listeners. That is a brace. It's quite a sophisticated one. It cost me, I think, £7.50 off Amazon next day delivery. Um, but me and Kemp will have a good golfing weekend coming up next week, so I want to make sure I'm in top form for that. So
Mhm.
yeah, just rest and recovery, Rob, this week for me. Um,
Name of the game.
that's it. So anyway, into real golf, the Valspar, the PJ Tour this week. We were in the pub last night, three of us watching it.
Mhm.
3/4 of SGT. Unfortunately, Rob, were you traveling back over the weekend? What was going
Uh,
on?
yeah, I flew back from the from India at the event there. I'm in Madrid actually currently, and
Oh,
then going to Barcelona tomorrow.
Nice.
are you going back up for
Miss,
practice?
Mr. Worldwide. Yeah. Yeah, we got a training camp this week, so getting things started because our next event is in May, so got to put in the work for that.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, we can touch on that one, then we'll glance over the golf. Maybe the challenge tour. What's going on, Rob? There, the schedule's all over the place
Uh,
with the war.
yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, so the war has kind of thrown everything into shambles. Really, it's absolute chaos with the schedule because we're playing in India. We were supposed to play the last 2 weeks there in India, and then they called the first one off because of the war, because all flights have to go through the Middle East. And then they decided, no, we're gonna see how boys can find a way to get here safely, and they decided to put the second week on. And guys were still and then guys still flew through Dubai. That was a bit mad. I actually flew through Qatar to get back to Europe, which was a fun experience.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bit mental. Yeah, and
April's wiped out then, is it?
and then April we're supposed to have two events in one in Dubai, one in another Emirate, and they've called those to cancel them, and they've put them at the end of the schedule in September instead. So now we've gone. It'll be 5 events within the first 4 months of the year, and then 22 events for the last 23 weeks of the year.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be mental. Yeah.
are you playing a couple
So
smaller events in the meantime to keep sharp, or what's the plan?
yeah, we might play some stuff. We've been talking with Jordan. Yeah, maybe me and Jordan will just put 500 quid on the line on one bounce game at Burgess. Get the viewers involved.
Yeah.
Get the betting's open.
Yeah, I'll get some content out of it at least because you keep asking you boys to send me content and it's not happening, but we'll take that one offline.
Ooh.
I mean, everybody in TikTok must think there's just one guy doing the podcast now because it's just clips of me on my phone thinking, what caption could I put in this video this week?
It's over 10 degrees now, Ethan, so I'll send you some swing videos at some point.
Yeah. I tried to take some, so I went out watching the Winter League match yesterday and taking videos of Kempo, hoping to get some content. And then,
Honestly, he sent me the videos. Every poor shot I hit is on his video. He's got a load of one-handed finishes. He's got all sorts. So they ain't going anywhere.
I was like, I had a really good perspective on a hole. Was it 15? And I was like, right, I'm at I can see his tee off, and it's like a nice narrow tee shot, and this ball just went in the hazard.
Yeah.
So
Content
that's
for
not,
you.
that's not good. But yeah, anyway, back to the golf. So the Valspar, we were in the pub last night, and it came down to quite a few. I mean, a few Europeans were up there. David Lipsky as well, and Matt Fitzpatrick came
I
out
don't
on
think
top.
David's European.
No, I said no. I'm saying as well as European. There was Europeans plus David Lipsky. I'm not saying he's European. Right, come on. That's not the viewers will know what
Jordan
Europeans
Clock
plus
got
David
to
Lipsky.
it first.
Oh,
And good to
Language
see.
barrier. It's a language barrier.
That's it. It's a cultural issue. So good to see Marco playing well. Although he did a couple shy chips towards the end, but I mean, I've never been in contention of the PGA Tour, so I'm not really sure how that feels. So yeah, what like most about the round yesterday was Fitzpatrick's putt on the last. That fist pump was
Yeah. He is
insane.
the least charismatic player in the world, isn't he? Bless him, but he's unbelievable.
Is that your first hot take of the episode?
Honestly, he's the least like if you were his sponsors, you'd just be like, what are we doing? But I think Skechers kind of match him quite well, to be fair. But he's
It does, yeah. I was about to say that.
it's a perfect sponsor, and but
Perfect.
at least he'll be comfy. So, but no, he's on a good run, and as we say, nothing seems to affect him. If anyone's backed him for the Masters earlier, I think you're in a good place.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I read something that like 11 out of the last 13 Masters winners were have been like over like 1.5 shot strokes gained tee to green. I think it's 1.58. Like 11 of the last 13. So like it's a huge indication. And over the last 13 years, it was on average only 5 guys were in that metric. So really those were like 5 hot favorites. And this year there's 11 guys that are at that level of strokes gained.
Yeah.
So it could be a very close Masters.
Oh, you're teeing up next
A lot
week
of hot,
episode.
lot of hot horses. I am. Yeah, just a little teaser in there.
But yeah, I think was it you saying, Kempo, that he went to Phil Kenyon for his putting as well? Because he's always a really good putter and he struggled with it the past year or two.
Yeah. Well, he's back to his yes putter that he's had since he was in his amateur days, and yeah, he's gone to Phil Kenyon, and he seems to have got his confidence back.
Yep. So good to see him get the win there, and the likes of Mark go up there. What's his name? Jordan Smith up there as well.
The English doing well, huh? English.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brant Snedeker back in the scene as well. No, he's not European. Trying to make that clear. We made that mistake again.
Englishman.
Does he have a PJ Tour card, or was that an invite?
No idea.
No idea.
He must be on the career money list.
Something like that.
Anyways,
Yeah, he's not. That was his first appearance of that
some
name.
sort of list.
Yeah.
And then on Live,
Yeah,
was it South Africa this weekend?
Yeah. This week.
it was. Yeah, that was insane.
Looked unreal.
Yeah, I saw Paul Casey getting quite emotional talking about it, saying it was such a great event and how Australia need to pick their game up. I don't know. I actually look quite genuine, to be fair. I know sometimes they put these things out and you go, they've just been paid to say that, but actually it looked like a really good, well-supported event.
Yeah, I've never seen a player get emotional over the logistics of an event.
It was just
That's
so
mad.
well run.
Mad.
It's his paycheck talking. That he'll have had a bonus to.
Yeah,
try.
he would have had.
How wild run was the weather in the Sunshine Tour last week, Jordan?
Oh, just fantastic. Honestly, it was just brilliant. I've never had a more stop-start week in my life. I played one of the 4 days. I played 18 holes. It's not really their fault, but it's just when it rains, it rains.
It pours.
It rains and pours like combs, and here comes Jordan with our jingle.
Shakespeare over it. Yeah, it just chucked it down, and the course never really recovered, and it was just mental. But we're back now, sticking to the process and enjoying the journey.
Oh yes.
Oh
God.
my
Wow.
God!
Flip that.
You've been paid to say that as well.
Honestly, kill me.
All right, Paul Casey. Okay, well, let's get straight into the hot takes. We haven't heard each other's. Truth be told, a lot of us didn't have any until about 15 minutes ago.
Oh, we had a
Um,
couple.
we've got a couple each. I'm going to go round everyone once and then just see how many times it might be. We do like 6 or 7, or I don't know, might do a few quick ones, or we do similar hot takes to each other and then we'll just cancel that out. But Rob, I'll go to you first.
First, jeez, pressure's on. My hot take is that I love the golf dress code.
Like
Mm.
like the traditional one.
The traditional one, the belt, the collar, the, proper
So,
golf shoes, the
Mhm.
the studs.
are
Mhm.
you kind of, would you
I
ever be seen in manners?
um manners. I mean, it's like it's still, the regular stuff is still golf gear.
It's quite
Like it's
streetwear
more like
inspired though.
everyone wants.
The cut's not the same. They're not pleated. They're not. It's slit. It's streetwear vibe.
Absolute,
Yeah,
absolute
yeah,
great
but
PR
but
answer.
what
He just clinging onto a future sponsorship right there.
you never close the door if it's not open yet.
Oh, yeah.
No, I feel like there's like so many guys want to like do be like make it like sports, in like some sports shirts and like sports shorts or what sports shoes, make it like a sportswear. But I just feel like when you're like walking down the street,
Mhm.
wherever, and you just see a guy in like a golf shirt, and it's a golf shirt, and it's like you're a golfer, so it's like that community feel
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
I
the
like that.
game,
Yeah, so
and I feel like
it's the golf etiquette, not necessarily like you're so
Yeah.
traditional that we should be playing in long socks and stuff like that. But
no, no, it's not traditional, but just the golf etiquette, like the community of golf. Like we don't need to make it into a basketball. Like people want to see it. Oh, we need to get more kids involved, and the only way to do that is that let kids wear joggers,
Mhm.
or like let people wear joggers and sweatpants and a gym T-shirt, so that we can get more people involved. But that's not for me. I just completely disagree with that. I think we've got like a special golf etiquette that brings the golf community together, and it's something that it's you need to have a certain culture and values,
Mhm.
and I think it's values that bring the game up and make it that different level of class and respect compared to other sports where you might get different types of fans and atmosphere.
Mhm.
And I feel that kind of thing that separates us makes us stronger and not weaker. And I feel like we're trending in a bit of a wrong direction. And you can see it like at the Ryder Cup, where you've got different types of fans now that are kind of getting involved in the game.
Mhm.
And we need to protect. I feel like that part of golf is like the best part, and we need to protect it.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's one of those.
That's my take.
I wouldn't say like I would have a strong view one way or the other, but it's kind of a pet peeve when I watch YouTube golf and a lot of channels that we like watching, they're out on the course with the t-shirt on and shorts. I'm like, that's not really. I mean, like, it's one thing to wear a polo shirt and maybe not tuck it in if it's like 8:30 at night. You should still be doing it, but like no one's going to
Mhm.
care. But if you're out on the golf course with a big logo t-shirt on, that's
Mm.
just, I
I think there's
mean,
some fundamentals that you should stick to, like you say, tuck your shirt in, kind of a good fitting polo shirt, kind of not even a good fitting, just a polo shirt. But then you can now kind of have fun with it from there, you know?
Mhm.
yeah. Do you think it's funny though in our sport you go to watch like the Open or the Masters and there's people walking around like they're ready to tee it up because they're on the full polo shirt.
Rob, that is so you, isn't it?
Get the golf
That's
shoes on.
brilliant.
Like you don't
Just
get people going to the football match with the studs on, like just in case they get a call up, or even do you get the I'll not say the word, but the full kit W. People,
I
but
just think it's
you get
brilliant.
a
Like
golf
it's
tournament.
just brilliant.
No, I do like it. No, I think it is a hot take. I think we all here agree with you, but I agree a lot of that
I
good
mean,
that's come out
I
of.
do and I do and I don't because I think it's good to lower the standards at the early part of the game. So when you're a young kid, you can't expect them to have pleated trousers and these. I think get young people into the game. Let's get let's lower the levels and let them wear what they want until they learn the game.
Well, it's not like a rare Pokemon pleated trousers and a polo shirt. Like
No, just saying that's what it is usually, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like most clubs do that though. Like obviously there's universal rules which are don't have your cap on in the clubhouse. And I feel like if you're a junior, you kind of need to be pulled up on that because I mean, I think it's all happened to us when we were younger.
I
Um,
think, yeah, my hot takes less maybe we focus on the clothes, but maybe it's more like to keep the traditions
Yeah.
and the values of the game. I
yeah.
think the game's expanded too much.
Too fast, yeah.
Shrink the
The
game.
game's too
Game's gone.
inclusive.
The game's gone.
Break the
It's too
game.
inclusive.
Drink the game.
Yeah, the game's gone woke. That's
We
Rob's
want less
Rob's
people
hot
playing
take.
golf.
Game's gone.
Shrink the game.
Right, okay. Well, we'll go to Kempo next.
Um, right, which one? I think that the players is a bigger win than winning a PGA Championship.
Ooh, I would agree. It's definitely a hot take.
Yep.
That's definitely a hot take.
I think it's
It's boiling. That take is boiling.
well, I'll put it out there. What do you
You
think?
did.
But I suppose, and I suppose I'm kind of answering the question. The question is, would you rather have three players or one major, one PGA? I think I'd probably rather have one PGA.
Yeah.
Depends what you well,
Yeah.
I guess in if you want to kind of the legacy in the sport, I guess the numbers say yeah, you're a major champion. But to me, even maybe more as a spectator, the players is a much more watchable and memorable event. And
Is
that might
that
be
just
because it's at Sawgrass every year. But to me, that's what makes it so special.
Maybe you should change your hot take to I'd rather watch the players than the PGA.
I think they should just make the players the fourth major.
It's funny, like you know how you have these majors like the PGA Championship, which wasn't considered a major at one point, and so like boys had won it, but they never knew it was a major, and then years later they made it a major, and then it's like, oh, well, this guy's won 5 majors because he's won the PGA Championship 3 times, but he actually never knew it was a major, and that
Mhm.
could end up being like the players, like
Well,
in
yeah,
40
exactly.
years time, they might actually name the players as actually a major championship, and then Rory's actually got 2 more majors.
Yeah, but I just think it's got more like the PGA normally majors the atmosphere towards an event like a major starts way before the event like Augusta and the Masters and whereas when it's a
Yeah.
PGA it's just an event and then the next week it's the PGA and you're like oh it's a major this week is that there's no running whereas the players to me the running starts early in the season everyone's looking forward to the players being the first big event so it feels like a much bigger event and maybe it's because it's the first big tournament in the calendar probably is and it's just before the Masters everyone's kind of looking at that as a judgment of who's going to perform well in the Masters and they'll start the season, whereas the PGA is more of an afterthought. And maybe that's why they've reshuffled the schedule to make it a bit more important. But yeah,
Yeah, I think we all agree. I much prefer watching the players. I wouldn't say much the players actually the PGA. The PGA you've got. I suppose this is what makes the majors so good is you've got the live players in that you've not really seen throughout the year in the majors,
yeah,
but it's the players, the standards obviously are always very good because is it the top 70 or top 80 in the world in the
yeah.
field. So it is the fully
Top
outside the
100, yeah.
majors, it's a fully stacked field.
Well, that's what it feels like. The PGA feels to me like just a normal event with a couple of club pros playing.
Yeah, yeah. I think they've made it better the past few years, I'll say, with the schedule, and I think they've made the event a bit more difficult and a few more memorable wins, like Phil Mickelson's a few years ago probably helped the tournament, and Brooks being quite dominant there, and
Hmm.
what's it, your guy Pereira's mishap on the last hole for Justin Thomas to win. So I feel like there's big moments in there, but I think everybody agrees it's the worst major out of the
But
four.
see, doesn't that
It
feel
is,
like
but
it's a
it is
normal
actually
event? You know,
but it is the strongest event in the world, the PGA.
field wise.
Yeah, because the top 100 players in the world get into the event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a lot of European, like the DP World Tour guys will play it.
Very good point.
Yeah, it's the strongest field wise, but they've not sold it. I don't know who's in charge of it, but
Mhm.
they're not doing a
Even
good
yeah, they
job at all.
use
I think the
regular
PGA of
PGA
America's
Tour
in charge of it,
courses.
Rob.
They lose PJ too. We'll take listen. Strokes game talking. We'll take it over. We'll make
Yeah,
it
we'll
into
take
it.
over from here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's quite no, I think that's quite a good take. It makes me kind of think as well. Yeah, I do like to watch all the majors, but the PGA is the one that I get least up for. But I think
Exactly.
I don't think that's a hot
You're
take. I
more
think
up for
everybody
watching the
agrees with that.
players than watching the PGA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also because the Players is the first big event of the year, and the PGA is the last, or it used to be like the last one,
Mm.
and kind of the golf season was kind of dwindling down.
Yeah, and then you have Tour
Yeah.
Championship, and it's had issues with formats and all this.
Yeah.
The seeding system. Yeah, but
That's
anyway,
another hot take. Well, I'm not going to do it in case someone else has. But carry on.
is this another hot take you already have?
No, I was going to say my kind of other opinion is that the FedEx Cup is past it, and they should completely rip up and start again. I think it's 10 years out of date. The FedEx Cup. I think it's actually a bit of a waste of time. But
Like the whole playoff system and
just the way, yeah, just I think it's washed. I reckon they need to just start again and come up with a completely new format.
Oof, right, straight into hot take number 2.
Yeah. I didn't actually write that one down. That's just my opinion.
Oh, that's a strong opinion. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Well,
think
it
they
doesn't
always struggle
work.
with the final round, the final tournament, don't they? Tour Championship to get that right. There was obviously a huge bias, and they did change it up last year, didn't they?
Mhm.
They did. They got rid of the didn't they get rid of the advantage that you get?
Yeah,
They
they've
did,
changed it
yeah.
back a couple times in the last like 5 years, where before it was just the order of merit basically, and then they changed it to like you start at like 10 under or 12 under.
Mhm. Depending where you were, yeah.
Yeah, they need to make it match play, don't they?
They do. They need to figure out a way to make it match play.
Yeah.
And
How can you? Yeah.
if it does, if it kind of you've got a big field, you do 2 days of match play, you get a field of 32, and you do a 2 day stroke play event.
Yeah. How can you make it feel like a Super Bowl or like a World Cup
Yes.
final? How can
Yeah.
you turn it into that? Because it's
It
a
should be,
final
yeah.
round stroke play doesn't feel like something
Imagine,
special.
yeah, imagine like a 1v1 final for the FedEx Cup, it's like a $20 million match. Do you know what I mean? That would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like crazy.
And I think it'd be
It would
great.
be
I mean, if you did
crazy.
it over if you did it, it should be at say if you did it at Pebble every year and you could use Spyglass or Cypress Point for all the matches. And it's like if you were as a spectator, you could choose any match you wanted to watch. And you could I think it'd just be a great weekend of golf to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people don't they didn't like the WGC. It wasn't really working, but it's
Mhm.
because it's not got that appeal like winning a WGC
Mm.
over winning the PGA Tour, like winning the
Yeah.
PGA Tour season like rankings.
But it
Like
creates some serious events,
that's
though.
got the pull.
Yeah. I mean, if you think, was it Dubuisson and Jason Day in the desert in the match play? I mean, it's some of the most memorable golfing moments were a one-on-one match play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think match play it's good to watch, but you just need to build the event around it.
Yeah, you need
Match play.
exactly.
Yeah, I do agree. The third championship and I suppose the completion of the FedEx Cup standings is a bit stale and needs a bit of a rethink. So maybe towards the end of the year we'll have a bit of
But
an
I,
episode
yeah,
dedicated to how we would do the FedEx Cup moving forward or
yeah,
something.
and I also think the American fans especially are a bit worried about it because match play when you watch it, there's a lot of wasted time. Obviously, if it's the final, a lot of in between bits where they're walking to the shots and this. And in America, they usually fill that with advertisements, and I feel like people get sick of that. So you'd have to figure out a way of making it. You'd have to build some really good intermittent stuff, like they do at the Open with the range and stuff, and it'd be a big production, but it could work.
But I think I agree with like for the last cup. The hard part is trying to find a balance between rewarding everybody who's gotten a third championship, all their points counting towards
Mhm.
something, and obviously the order of merit prize money. But I feel like if you get to the last few players, it should almost be like a head to head.
Mm.
And I feel like people will put up with breaks if this is literally a match for the FedEx Cup.
Yeah, and there may be similar to like they do in the Scottish Football League. They you cut off the top six. You're into, anyone you've got a chance.
Yeah.
Because it's you're meant to. How is the best player of the year not the person who's at the top of the top of the leaderboard going into the last event? The season long player, the best player is the one who's first, and then he might have a bad last event and lose it. So I think it's like Scheffler, for example. He's always starting. He was starting at 10, 12 under, but he might not win it, and it's not really fair, is it? So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's sport, isn't
no.
The
it?
hot take. No, I suppose then the other side of that's like, well, if you've won 6 events that season and you get beat in a match play over 18 holes to come second in the FedEx Cup, would you be pretty Pissed, probably would be, but
Probably.
sure.
But yeah, that's sport. Your turn. If you win the Champions League, the table, if you finish first and then you get knocked out by Sporting Lisbon and they qualified, they finished 22nd in the league. Is that fair? No, but
That's
sport.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
either you do it or you don't when it counts. Same with the Super Bowl. Same with all these things. Like that's why it makes the final so much more worth watching. Because imagine it would have been a final Scotty Scheffler versus like Tommy Fleetwood when
Dave
Scotty
Lipsky,
had won
the European.
Dave Lipsky, the European. It'd be great to watch. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree.
because he's got so much to win, but he's also got so much to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
It's what sells tickets. Jordan, hot take.
Okay. My first one is I'm going to go down the golf course route. So I don't know which one to start with. Let's do a one that's been talked about quite a bit. Is that if you're in a fairway divot, you should absolutely, definitely not get a drop because that's just part of golf. And I know you've hit it in the fairway, but you can hit it in the rough and get a good lie. So you can get lucky.
Good.
You can hit a tree and bounce back or whatever. It's just part of golf. So I think if you're in a divot, then that's it. You just play it as it lies.
Play the ball as it lies.
I can see it both. Yeah, that's it. You're ripping up one of the original rules of golf that play the ball as it lies. If you get to shifty it around, then that's going against one of the original rules. But I also agree because if you start opening that kind of worms of right, what is a divot?
Yeah, what is a divot exactly?
You could get relief everywhere. If it's an indentation, is it? You have to define a divot, and it's so hard to do. So
yeah, so play it.
Yeah, I feel like there's rules like that are a bit subjective, but don't usually make a huge difference. Like, for example, casual water is pretty universal. You go, yeah, it's pretty wet, or
well, you remember was it what's he called? Sam Burns when he had that was it in the US Open and he was one back and he had that horrible ruling about the standing water. You could see on camera he was literally in a puddle and they didn't give it him.
Yeah.
So,
there's always going to be exceptions. I feel like most times in tournaments, like if it's casual water and your playing partner says, "What do you think?" It's usually obvious if it's just wet or it's casual water. Whereas you will literally get every single hole going. I think someone's on the fairway, but they're in a little bit of a hole, and they go, "Oh well, it must be a divot that's being repaired." And then you just, I mean,
oh, that would be me.
literally, it will happen.
It would happen.
We all know it will happen.
Yeah.
I'm actually for placing on fairways as a general rule in golf.
I like that.
I quite like that. You just generalize it. You've done what you meant to do.
You've done the job. Like you should get an advantage from hitting a good shot into the fairway.
Yeah.
Like off the tee, there is no ifs and buts. Like you know what the fairway is. The lines are there. There's no variables. Like
you know what? That could really help the sport of golf, is what we talk about as well. It would change strategy completely. You would no longer just pull driver and bomb it down there in the rough. It'd put a prop. You'd want to hit the fairway. So
yeah, I could. Yeah, I mean, I know Spain already do it. They play general placing. That's a rule in the Spanish Golf Federation. It's placing everywhere, and it works. It works unreal. Just people. I mean, it just makes sense. Like it just.
I mean, it makes sense. They do it anyway. Like if the course is a bit muddy, and the rule in the day is fairways only, left clean in place, you can still put a card in. So it's obviously like you can put in a genuine score by placing the fairways. Why can't you just do that all the time? It's a good point.
You can't shoot a course record with preferred lies. Fun fact at the moment. So if there's preferred lies, the course record doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a cultural thing. If you try bringing that rule in Scotland, they'd hate it, because I think the courses and the sport of golf is celebrated in Scotland. When you go to a golf course, people always go, "Oh, this is great because it looks like it's not been touched. It looks like it's always been here." I think people quite like that. You just play the ball as it lies on a course that's not been manicured, and I think it depends where you are.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't be against that. I think it's a far better way around it than you can take it out of a divot on a fairway. definitely. I think we all agree that's just, divots. To be honest, touch wood, nothing big happens to me this year, but I can't remember the last time I drove it down the fairway and it was in a terrible divot. Maybe it happens once a
Oh,
year.
oh
Oh, it
dear.
happens so much more than that. That's because you never hit the
No,
fairway.
that's because he.
There's no fairway divots in the rough.
That's how I got happened this hand. Too many times, spent too much time in the tree.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You said what? Too much time with Denise? What did you
No,
say?
in the trees.
Oh, sorry.
Time written.
I need to change the title, just the roast of Ethan part 1. I think it's episode 23. No, but yeah, Jordan, I do like that one.
Oh,
I think, it's just suck it up until it actually happens to me this year. Then I'm
Exactly. Yeah,
calling for
that's it.
yeah, sure.
My hot take, and it has an asterisk beside it, is general play scores shouldn't count towards handicap calculation. And the reason why I put an asterisk beside it is I completely agree that most clubs don't have enough competitions for people to get their 20 cards in, even in a year. I mean, it's strange. I think it's a cultural thing over here in mainland UK, because in Northern Ireland, my club, we'd have a competition every weekend. On Saturday, you'd have the medal first, like everywhere does the first weekend. On Sunday, you would play off the green tees, so the slightly forward tees, and that would be a Stableford. So every week, you'd have at least two competitions plus a midweek seniors that the juniors could play in as well. So you could play competitions and get loads of scores in. Whereas now I do appreciate it's quite hard, actually, unless you're playing the medals. Like you play like 5 medals a year, you get 5 cards in, you play a few others. Like that's not really enough. Why I put an asterisk, so I don't mind it for the casual golfer as such, the weekend golfer, but I don't like it for elite tournament entry. I feel like if you're entering a top amateur tournament, there should be some sort of filter that you almost have like a competition handicap that
Oh, I
only
love
takes your
that.
handicap out
Yeah.
of tournament
Or
stuff.
like a max amount of general play rounds in your 20.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yeah,
it's a simple like
it
format thing in
is.
software is you just have a mark on a score if it's a competition round, and then when the tournament is pulling those entries, it has to look for that mark, and that's you've got a competition handicap essentially.
Yeah, you're right.
Uh,
It's, even if it's as simple as that, you have a handicap that is literally just competition rounds, a number, and then you have a general handicap as well. And the handicap that's taken when you enter an event is the competition only handicap.
And actually, you
I
could do
love
that
that.
across the
That's
board
brilliant.
for people playing, people playing captain's days and going to all these visitor competitions and getting like 47 points. Whereas you probably could do it across the board. It's like maybe need fewer rounds if you're a weekend golfer, but they could almost have a competition handicap, which means, that it's legitimate in some way, because I feel like too many people are,
Taking them.
taking the
So
mic.
there's a especially for me, but there's definitely a difference between a general play score and a competition score. It's a completely different sport. You kind of have the nerves, you have, like you say, the jeopardy of, this matters. There's money on the line, that kind of stuff. Whereas if you just go out after work with your pals and just have a bit of banter and shoot 2 under par, it's not as good as going out in competition on a Saturday when the course is set up a bit harder. You've unfamiliar playing partners and shooting a good score. So, it's a completely different sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also a funny thing if you're genuinely shooting really good scores in general play, but you keep getting your card marked by your mate, people are going to start thinking, is he cheating? And you actually might not be cheating, but because you're not playing the competition, why would you put yourself in the
Yeah.
spotlight? I don't get it. And I think we've talked about on the podcast before the importance of playing competitions, having a card in your hand with consequences, knowing that you might shoot a bad score when you're at the bottom of the leaderboard in front of your club. Like you need to be putting yourself in that situation if you want to get better.
I mean, if we did 100% general play scores, you can answer this, Ethan. I mean, how much lower would we be?
Yeah, and you can put 9 hole general play scores in.
I
It's
know.
just ridiculous. It is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And then we could fill our scores with general play scores, and then we could enter Scottish Arm and definitely get in. Could be off +4, but it's
Well, I know
not representative.
even I know well, I know boys over the years
Hot take.
who will strategically not put scores in until like May to get into these tournaments, and I'm like, it's just silly. It does show how the handicap system is flawed as well, because if you shoot a 63 and that's coming out in your next round, maybe you don't want to play.
Yeah, but it's just the system. People will, no matter what it is, people will just use the system as to their advantage. So you just have to make the system work. And your idea is brilliant.
It was a lot more robust on the old system. Was it the Kongu system we used to use, where it was a lot harder to manipulate,
Yeah,
a lot
point
harder.
one and just get
Point
cut.
one, one under was point one down, and it was
Yeah.
no general play scores for category one.
It's just the fact now you could shoot the course record in 20 scores time. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's crazy. You can go from +3 to 1 if
Yeah,
your course
that's
record
good.
comes off, which is crazy.
Whereas if you get cut 1.3, like for category one, that is a major chop from like one
Yeah.
round because you shot like 12 or 13 under.
Yeah.
And then if you have a couple of bad rounds, like everyone does, you're only going up 0.1 each time. You're not
You can go
losing
up
that
13 rounds in a row. Give
Yeah.
it back to the wait, what?
So that was mine. Rob, your second one?
My next one is that I think that the shot tracers on TV, it's getting a bit out of control. I think I don't like it. I think these like I think the standard shot tracers off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I think it's pretty good. Just the normal blue line after just to see the start line and the curve and the shape. That's pretty good. I actually don't like the ones into the green. I think it's brilliant part of watching it when even like on tough par threes and stuff, you'd have a guy, there's, I don't know who else someone would be hitting the shot and it's in like the cameraman's pinning to the ball in the air and you've got no idea where it's falling, but you've got maybe you and Murray in the back going, "Oh my God, it's leaking." And you're like, "It's leaking."
Yeah, leaking wet.
Like, where is it?
Yeah.
Like the Ricky Fowler one. Remember when he and the players
Mm.
and it's in the air and I don't know who was on commentary and he was just going, "Oh, it's dangerous. It's dangerous." And then it lands too and it's in the air and just the excitement builds. But I feel now if you see like especially at 17 this year at the players, I felt like it was so precise that you already knew in the air if the ball was like going to be on the green or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. The power
And
of the
it took
balls.
away a bit of the the power exactly, yeah. And the excitement was gone a little bit from that.
Yeah.
And I know people love it, but I feel like it's taken away actually from the excitement
of
the game and
that's
stuff.
good. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have, because the one when you said that, I do agree with you, but there was like one, I was like, how can I be devil's advocate here? And the one shot is Rory's on 15 at Augusta last year. Do you think
Adds to it a little bit.
would that have been better without the shot tracer?
It didn't have the shot tracer on it. Oh, the hook.
The hook around the tree.
Did that have the shot tracer on it?
Mm-hmm.
It's this big
I think
look.
it would have been
It goes out the screen and then comes back in the screen.
I think it would have been just as good anyways, no?
I suppose the anxiety would be, he's like, he's taking on this shot and there's no shot tracer. Oh, Rob's gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
No,
Shot tracer.
You chase that one.
I get Rob's thing right, because see when you watch like old Tiger Woods videos and old shots of his, there's obviously no shot tracer on those, and they still feel and look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can see by the swing, like Rory, you'd have seen by the swing that he just hit, that he's going for a massive hook with a long iron, and it's in the air, and you're like, "Oh my God!" You would have been.
It'd have started out the screen 70 yards right, and then you could have probably seen the curve in the air. It would have been either way.
Sometimes it actually takes away from when you can actually see the actual ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can actually see the ball flight without the top tracer on some of the shots.
Yeah, I'm thinking Tiger Woods under the tree at Pebble Beach, and you can see the ball rising in the freewood, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
exactly.
Hit the driver off the deck that time. You
Yeah.
see it the whole way. But yeah, I think you're right. It's actually a different experience. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to give you a better understanding of what's happening by giving you the shot tracer. But I think that Rory shot, people are thinking he's taking this on, and then he hits it, and there's like 3 seconds where you're like, has he hit it in the water? Is it going over the back? Has he like put it in the bunker? You don't know because there's no shot tracer line. So that anxiety actually is what creates the excitement.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'll jump in with my second one here. Okay, this is a bit more controversial. Most
Okay.
players don't actually want to get better. And
Explain.
we'll expand on that. I feel like most players get told how to get better, but if you really ask them to practice it, work on it, will they do it? I feel like a lot of times we give tips to people, or Jordan might have it with lessons, and then you go, so the next time you go to the range, you just need to do this, and then they just switch off. And they're like, well, I'm not going to go to the range. I was hoping I was going to go to for a lesson, Jordan, and shoot 63 at the weekend.
And maybe that's less of not wanting to get better and more of a different issue that
I think it's a different,
a
like
motivational.
a
Do you know what I
human
mean?
issue.
Most people want to play better golf, but most people aren't willing to put the effort in.
Well, that yeah, I think people are just against change and they don't like taking tips. They don't like taking tips off certain people, kind of thing.
I think they take the tips, but it's just like people are just so stubborn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stubborn. And we all know in golf,
Stubborn.
it's that feel versus real thing. It never changes enough,
Yeah,
does
they
it?
just want
Yeah.
instant result golf, and
Yeah.
that doesn't happen ever. So
Yeah. So that's yeah, the golfers are more stubborn than they let on. I'm the same. I mean, the weakest part of my game
uh,
for years has been my putting. And then you ask me how many hours a week I practice my putting is probably the least out of my game.
It's so
yeah,
it's just funny. I can thinking about when the amount of times Jordan would try and get you to change your swing at the start of the season. You go, no, 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 no. He goes to one lesson, comes back and go, what did you change? And you just basically relayed off what Jordan had said for the last 6 months. But
yeah.
because it was Jordan, you were like, no, no, no.
Me and Rob for the last 2 years. Ethan, you need to load your right hand side. Oh, Ethan, how was your lesson? Yeah, he's just got me loading my right hand side.
True. So yeah, always get lessons.
Yeah.
That's the lesson there.
Well, one of my hot takes off the back of that was that lessons are underused by high handicappers and overused by good players.
Yeah. I think we'll all agree on the high handicappers one, definitely. What do you mean by that?
I think that most high handicappers try and get better by themselves and try and get down to a point, maybe get down to 15 and then get lessons. When I think the journey would have been a lot quicker, a lot easier if they got lessons. And I think that good players overuse lessons because, and it takes away from trying to build their own understanding of the sport, what they're good at, what their strengths are, and it makes them way too technical.
I
I just
agree
think
with the go. I agree with the bad players
Okay.
yeah,
because they're like, well, I don't need. Well, there's no point taking a lesson now. They always say, "Other, well, there's no point taking a lesson because I'm not good enough to take a lesson." But
Hmm.
that's why you need to take a lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
I always
think
hear that. Oh, there's no point taking a lesson because I don't know what I'm doing.
I think higher handicap golfers have a worse memory. So I think when they have a good round and they like feel something or they've been taught something, they might be good for one or two, and then they genuinely forget about what they did well in the previous round to
Mm,
shoot a good score. Whereas I think good golfers can get that feel or that swing or whatever and remember it for longer. I think high
process,
handicappers
yeah.
forget what they've been either told or forget what they did, and then they just never remember it again.
It is so true. You do a different feel every single week. But no,
Yeah.
I do think that sometimes good players like I feel like they look for improvement by going to a lesson. They go, oh, I need a lesson, I need a lesson, and they don't explore their own game and try and get better without it.
I would say I know there's a lot of examples where boys who are good players maybe don't commit to a coach or the process
Hmm.
and maybe fall into the trap because they're good players. They understand the golf swing to a certain extent that they almost feel like they know better, myself included
Hmm.
at times. So I
Hmm.
can see, whereas I remember, and shout out to my mate, Mark McKinstry, from Cairndhu, who I remember when he was younger, he was brilliant, played for Ireland, won loads of things, won like the Connacht Boys by 8 shots. Like he was a real brilliant golfer. And sometimes he would get in trouble with the swing and not really know what was going wrong. And then he'd go to his coach and it'd be fixed because the coach would just tell him
Hmm.
what to do because he wasn't tinkering. He'd just have to be told what to do. And then
Mm.
he'd be great again. Whereas some golfers, I think you're right, sometimes get too technical or they get given advice by a coach and go, oh, but is that right though? Because I know
Mhm.
like when I'm doing this and you just go into a spiral of, yeah, self-correcting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just YouTube videos.
Yeah, just go on YouTube, man. That's true.
Yeah, so it's like free.
Yeah.
Um, Can I do another one?
Go for it.
That was more of a a carry on. I've got two, but I'll do this is a bit I just thought of this before, but uh bunkers are not penal enough, and you should have one club to get out of them that can't be more than 50 degrees.
You had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Right. So
The second half.
so bunkers are not penal enough. On the PGA Tour, the bunkers are so consistent. The ball always ends up in the middle of the bunker, well, majority of the time, and
Mhm.
pros sometimes actually enjoy going in a bunker more than having a tight lie. So I was thinking about how can you make bunkers more penal, and yet it comes down to equipment, and they can just get a big lofted wedge out, and they've got so much control. So I thought, well, why don't we limit the loft? That was the only kind of mitigation I could think of in the 2 minutes for the
It's weird
podcast.
because
Ah,
I do agree that I mean some if we're playing in course and it's got thick rough around the green, I'd almost rather go in the bunker.
Mhm.
Although I feel like we're more likely to get a plugged lie in Scotland than other places. But
But I think you think back to the old like in the 70s and 80s, bunkers were a lot more penal. They were more of a hazard because you didn't have you don't have these high bounce wedges and more options. You have a wedge, you had to be a much better bunker player to get out of the bunkers effectively than you do now. I mean, I'm a decent bunker player. I don't really practice my bunkers because I've got a wedge that I trust. That's what I'm getting at.
do you think it's too easy, Rob?
No.
Well, how's your bunker play?
I
Yeah.
think you'd be surprised that the pros aren't actually that good out of bunkers.
yeah, you just see the best shots because
Yeah.
you just see the best bunker shots. How often do you see them highlight of someone who leaves it in a bunker?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
don't think I don't
Yeah,
think
if you look at the proximity to hole from bunkers, you're actually better off being from rough and from fairway rough. Rough is nearer to the hole than bunkers.
yeah.
Strokes gained wise for the same distance
Oh, for
on
sure.
average.
hmm
All right,
Yeah.
stop chucking stats at my hot take. That's not what we agreed on.
Stats don't care about your feelings. That was going to be one of
No.
mine, but
No, I didn't mind your hot take, but then you said you can't use anything more lofted than a gap wedge.
I know. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
How else do you make them more penal? Make
I would
them.
have liked it being like a smaller, more slopey bunker. They're just so flat nowadays. That's maybe more of a problem. They're
Yeah,
just
bunker
flat
design. It's bunker
and
design,
big
not
bunker design.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then you've
'cause
got to rip
Yeah.
up all the links golf courses, riveted faces. I thought it'd be easier to limit it.
yeah,
Well, I don't know. I
when
feel
you're in a
like
linked bunker, it's
No, the
like
links are
impossible to
good.
get out.
Links are
The
more
links are
penal. I
good
agreed.
ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to maybe these so on like these modern PGA Tour courses, they're just too easy.
but I
I
just
think
feel like these are boys who
Because
are
I've played loads of
20
them.
under 20 under par for 4 rounds anyway, round a 7,500 yard golf course. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. I feel like you watch the guys in tour and go, I would never have gotten that lie. But at the same time, obviously they control their low point really well. And maybe week to week as well, they're, I mean, probably hitting 30 bunker shots before they go out
Yeah.
practicing.
Mhm.
How many tournaments do we play and go, there's no sand in these bunkers. There's too much sand in these bunkers.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get a bit of that as well. And it's like, oh, these bunkers are so different to last week.
Mhm.
So I feel like I know what you're trying to say, but the gap wedge bet you lost me.
Okay, fair. I lost me. Yeah, no, I actually agree with you completely on the second point.
I think more pot bunkers as the general call.
Yeah, make them more penal. That's
Make them
maybe
more
make the
penal.
bunkers more penal. Don't penalize the players.
Yeah, you have to hit bunker
Yeah.
shots left-handed.
Yeah.
Opposite
Yeah,
hand.
it's
Jordan, do you have a second one?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe a
Yeah.
couple more.
No golf course or competition for certain golf courses should ever have internal OB.
I've got that. I think it's
Because
diabolical.
I think internal OB, if you're introducing internal OB to a golf course, it's a poorly designed golf course.
Did we have this conversation last night? I think we did.
Well, I didn't, so
I
that's
think
why
I was
brought it
maybe I was
back.
talking at you yesterday. I was
Yeah, and I usually
because we played a course yesterday and on Sunday and there was internal out of bounds and I was having a chat about it and I think it's just covering up poor course design.
yeah,
If you're saying right, you can't go over there because I don't know, there's another hole that makes the hole
Mhm.
there's another hole that makes the hole easier.
yeah.
It's a bad design.
It's weird as well when you have internal OB, but it's only in play for one of the holes. Like it's a one-way internal OB, but if you do it, it's like
It's just lazy, and
Yeah,
it kind of ruins the. You should be able to get the ball in the hole in any means that you see fit. And if you want to hit it onto another hole somewhere else, be my guest. They shouldn't say, "Oh, you can't go there." You know,
yeah,
Yeah, well, it's more of a protection thing.
yeah. It's more of a
Just
safety hazard, I
launching
think.
it at another
I
team.
do get Rob's point.
I get it, but I don't like it. I think
Would
the
rather
chances
risk
of
a
the
few
chances
more
are very
lives.
slim. Chances are very
Yeah,
risk
slim.
a
I
few more
hate it.
lives
I
than
agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you.
I have to agree.
For
okay.
point two,
Just
And
hit
no,
it
I agree
shout
with that.
four.
I
You'll be
agree with
right,
that.
won't you?
just to follow on from that,
It's just a cop out, isn't it? Internal OB. It's just a cop out for a shit course. There
I
we go.
think I think practice grounds and driving ranges should also be out of bounds.
Yeah. So they're
Yeah, I
right
agree with
off the
that.
Are they not
first
out of bounds?
on the
Well,
Kiddicks
some aren't. No,
there.
like
Some
the one
aren't.
the
I mean,
Burgess are.
Birkdale with John Spieth, he was on the practice round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whereas Royal Liverpool, the practice ground is out of play.
I'm
It
kind of
was.
happy with that just to be like a local rule. I feel like there'll be members you go, we don't have any practice facilities, and then you'll put a practice ground in between two holes, and it might have been part of the rough on one of the holes, and it's like reasonably in play. So I don't mind making that like a local rule, which is practice areas right of bounds, but I wouldn't do it across the board. I do feel like there's exceptions to that, but I do agree with internal OB. That's just I hate when I see those stakes on
Yeah.
the middle between two fairways. It's so strange.
It's
for sure.
awful. Yeah. I guess what was it Riviera that planted that tree instead of putting internal OB in? They put the tree there so the players couldn't take it
Yeah,
miles
Yeah.
right. So they kind of at least put a bit of an environmental blocker up rather than just a white stake, you know?
true.
Yeah. Who's last? Has someone not done their final one? If
Ethan, I think you're up, is it?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll go for one more and then that'll probably do us, which is that the old course hate is unjustified. I
Is
feel
there
like
old course 8?
I feel like there's a lot of old course hate. I feel like a lot of people go, "Oh, it's not even that good. It's not even like the best in St Andrews. It's
well, it's not.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant just old golf courses, right?
no, the
Oh, the
old
old.
course at St Andrews."
The old course.
The old course.
Yeah.
I mean, I do agree. It might not even be the best golf course in St Andrews, but people constantly saying it's overrated. It can't even host an open anymore. Like people do say these things. I'm like, that's just ridiculous. And we had Finn on, who our mate, who works for one of the golf tour operators, and he still said, and actually out the back of their office, it goes onto the old course, and he said it's still his favorite
Yeah.
course. And I feel like does get a lot of hate. It's quite polarizing. I
Yeah.
think.
I think by and the nature of any course or any place that kind of puts itself on a pedestal like that, kind of like Augusta or the old course, you're always going to set yourself up for hate because there's going to be a lot of people who are kind of they're excited to go and it doesn't meet their expectations. But I mean, it's still an incredible place. I think it depends on what you appreciate about a golf course. If you
Yeah.
appreciate the history and
Mhm.
yes, it's the layout might be a bit let it down slightly, but the actual whole place, if you're into history and you love the sport of golf, I think it's one of the best places to be in
Yeah,
the world. So.
comes down to your personality of a person, doesn't it?
It does.
I
Well,
think-
a traditionalist like
Yeah,
you, Rob,
Yeah.
I noticed from your attire. How do you feel about the old course when you've played it?
Yeah, to be fair, actually, Finn nearly changed my mind on it. I nearly was brainwashed by so many people telling me it's so bad. I mean, you do. It is a good take from you because so many people do come up to you, and they make it such like their personality of saying old course is terrible. Like they just make it a point to tell it to everyone after they've played it that it's so bad. And then you kind of jump onto it because you hear it so often.
Yeah.
And then actually hearing Finn talk about it from more of a golf purist point of view, you think, you know what, he's dead right. Like that feeling you get on one, you just don't get that on any other course in the world on the first tee.
Yeah, but that just because it's St Andrews, or it can still. I don't think it's a very good golf course, but I like the whole St Andrews and the old course vibe. So if you were to play an open, you
Yeah.
want to play in St Andrews, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
mean the golf course is actually very good.
Yeah. You don't play the old course for the golf part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I don't think if you pick that golf course up, right, and put it anywhere else in Scotland, I don't think it's as good as it is now, because it's in St Andrews.
Yeah. You pick it more for the walk than for the golf.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's a bit overhated for the golf course design. I mean, the fact that it's still, I know they've had to lengthen tee boxes, but so is everywhere. Augusta's had to make holes longer. So, but I feel like it is a bit underrated. I mean, that first green is so difficult to read. And I mean, that's what Finn says as well. It's like he did a lot of caddying on it. It's so hard to read. What? Golf purist, Finn Hamilton over here.
I wouldn't put
Yeah,
I
any
wouldn't
point I
put that
make, I'm
down
going to
as like
refer
a
to Finn
measure of a
Hamilton.
great championship golf course.
Well, it is. I
Listen,
feel
I
like it's
played a course the other week. It was unbelievable. I
mean,
misread 9 putts. It's that good.
but you know what, mate? I feel like there's holes like 17 is one of the best holes in golf, and it's not just
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's St Andrews,
No,
but
it's not. It's not.
It's
You
not.
have to hit over a hotel.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
a
it's not. I wouldn't say it's the best.
490-yard par four, and you have to hit over a hotel to a skinny fairway. And if you miss the fairway, you've got no chance of hitting the
Yeah.
green. And even if you are in
You,
the
you
fairway, you've got no chance. You barely have no chance of
exactly.
hitting the green anyway.
You don't remember any shot you've hit at the old course, but you remember walking down a hole.
I couldn't tell you the difference between the third hole and the seventh hole. Like I couldn't reel off like the different holes. Like I couldn't tell you what 3 or 4 or 5 looked like. I know one of them was par 5.
It's
Yeah.
the feeling and the walk, and not the golf.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, okay,
100%.
No.
okay. I don't completely agree with you. That's okay. It's supposed to be controversial hot takes, and it's okay.
That's why it's a hot take.
And for you to pick on me on like this as well is really, really unfair.
Brace
But yeah,
yourself.
I've got a few here. We'll not have time to go through them today. I mean, if we're stuck for an episode in the future,
Yeah.
sure we'll go through them.
I should have kept my bunker on silent, shouldn't I? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I mean,
half of it was the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
imagine
have
going
to
up
play
to
half
and
of it with
is that
7 up.
definitely that looks like a 54 to me. That looks like a 54.
Yeah,
Kempo
just
just writing
Yeah.
54 on every wedge.
Yeah, boys would just
measure it.
have
We'll measure
a
it.
50-degree wedge, but it would just it would just say 50 on it. It's just a log
Yeah.
wedge.
They'd have a
Can you take
protractor
my-
trying to measure the angle.
So many club pros have just missed out on Loft and Lies there, though. You just go in with a 50-degree wedge and get it bent to 54 and just
50-degree wedge, K grind, 14 degrees of bounce.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so yeah, thanks for listening. Don't hold back on the hate for Kempo after that.
Brilliant.
And yeah, well, next week we're going to do our Masters predictions. So I'm looking forward to that. Usually do okay in the Masters every year. There's a few usual suspects, so be interesting to see their form going into this year. And I don't know if what's his name, that Charlie Hoffman, is he playing this year?
First round.
I think he's missed out the past 2 years, but
Are we doing Masters predictions next week or the week after?
well, I think we should do it before. But I feel like when people are listening to this episode, it's later on the week.
We'll do it before the Masters.
Yeah, we want to definitely get it out before the Masters, so it'll probably be next week, and then we'll do a Masters recap or something.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, we'll do something like that, like we did for the Ryder Cup debrief.
Hot
But yeah,
take. Kepka's going to win it.
you think Kepka's going to win it? Okay, no, we're not getting into this now. But yeah, thanks for listening. Follow us on the socials. We're on YouTube as well. Did quite well on the golf ball rollback video actually, on YouTube, and yeah, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and we'll see you next week for episode 24.
Guys.
Yeah.